Welcome to the party.
Boom. Topic Thunder.
Boom.
Boom. Johnny and the Greg. Welcome everybody from your little break from Monday. This is Topic Thunder. For those of you who this is your first time, welcome. Sit back, relax, because Greg and I are going to discuss one topic and one topic only. We're going to maybe last between, we're pushing around 8 to 15 minutes now. We're getting jibber jabby. We're getting more comfortable with this. And then after that, we'll do a fact of the week, and then you can go back to your awesome job or your sucky job or your medium feeling job, whatever it is. We're here for you. So, Greg, you ready?
I am.
All right, here we go. Random. I gotta move that mouse. Random topic is. Let's see what we can do with this one. Can you be best buds with your boss?
Ooh. Some people can.
Can they really though?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I can't.
I don't think you can. I think that's a slippery slope, man. I think you want to be on good terms. I don't even know if you want to be friends.
I kind of wonder. I mean, I kind of wonder if it's the job. Like, if it's the job. Because I could see, like, a defensive coordinator being best friends with his head coach.
Maybe. Yeah. No. I think that definitely happens because you get those long days when you're coming up with a game plan or something like that. And you go through, I don't want to say this because you go through the war of a game, where the tensions are high. So I see where you're coming from there, but usually that's when you end up, because you won't get rid of that defensive coordinator when he lets you down, you get fired for that.
You get fired for that. I would say that no, and I actually kind of learned this lesson the hard way.
I think I have too.
From transferring from high school to college, I worked at a video store in my hometown, little mom and pop video store. The guy that ran the store, great guy, taught me a ton of stuff. I mean, I would actually more consider him at the time like a mentor.
Mm-hmm.
But as we were transitioning from mentor to best friend area, it got to say inappropriate is not in a weird way, but so we're at the video store, we're hanging out, and this is his shop, this is his place of business, this is how he made his living. But he was also very generous with whatever was in the store, and it got to the point where I was there all the time. He and I were hanging out, we're joking around, we're always having a good time. An example would be like he sold soda.
Mm-hmm.
I'd go into the fridge, grab a soda, come back behind the counter, pop it open, and he'd be like, "So that's like $1.20 or whatever." And I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. Because I mean, and granted, I was young,
18 or something,
very young, yeah, and I didn't get it. I really didn't get it. To the point where he and I had some conversations where I had to be like, okay, now I get it. So even to this day, I have a very good friend who's a contractor. He builds houses. He does patios. He'll build whatever you want him to build. And anytime I talk to him about like finishing my basement, building a deck, pouring some concrete, whatever, I always tell him, I'm like, look, if I were to hire you to do this, if you give me a friends and family discount or whatever it is, I appreciate it. But I in no way expect you to. I don't expect you to do it for free.
All right.
I don't expect you to not make money on it because this is your livelihood.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
But my wife owns a business, and like family members will call her to do stuff, and they just like, oh, you can do this for me. 15 to 20 hours of work, but I'm family, so you do that for free, right?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's yeah, it's a slippery slope. You're talking about taking advantage of the friendship.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is it's a natural thing to do, actually. Like, yeah, I can see where Krista's family's coming from. I can also see where
Mhm.
Krista's coming from, right?
Mhm.
Because you're taking time away from her livelihood to help you
Right.
out. The least you can do is give something back. I get that. Um, yeah, I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think it's a good idea to be
Well,
friends. I've had that moment where I was becoming, not only were we becoming in Georgia, not only were we becoming
oh, yeah.
friends, we were becoming family.
Mhm.
And it when it started going south, they expected us to just be cool with not getting paid,
Right.
and it's like, well, we got a house and we need to eat and we need gas to come to work, and you
Yeah.
know so yeah, I don't think it's a good idea. I think there's nothing wrong with being respectful. There's nothing wrong with having some sort of a friendship with a border.
Well, yeah, it's
Yeah.
well, and I'm talking about my friend Mark that owned the video store, and I've apologized to him, since I've grown up more or less,
Yeah.
because I didn't get it. I mean, when you're a late teen, early 20, and you and I were roommates in college.
Yeah.
If you went into the fridge and grabbed a beer, a soda, a whatever of mine,
Tequila Rose.
yeah, that. I didn't care because we were friends, and to me that's not a big deal. But
Right.
with Mark and I and him running a shop, I didn't get that. I'm not, going to grab a soda out of that fridge that he's selling soda out of. That wasn't his fridge. That was his job.
Yeah.
And even if I did try to justify it of like, well, it's $1.20, who cares? That's still the stinking thinking that I had. That was the wrong attitude to have. So
You were
Mark,
18
if you're
though.
watching, I am sorry about that, and I know you've heard me say that before, but yeah, it was, and it wasn't. It was the fault of both of ours. I mean, we both let that line slide, just because we were friends, and it was just the slippery slope.
It sounded like to me that he knew when to draw the line.
Eventually, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it got to, but if I'm there for lunch and we were just hanging out, we'd order lunch or whatever. He'd be like, "Well, grab a soda out of the fridge if you want, or out of the cooler." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So that happened enough that over time,
Yeah.
that line started to get blurry.
Yeah.
Probably more blurry for me than for him. And that's where it became a, hey, this isn't my house. This is kind of where I work
Yeah.
in the job. He handled it, I think, well and appropriately. So yeah, I'm glad I learned that lesson in my late teens, early 20s, rather than learning that lesson when I'm 30, 40, and people thinking I'm just an asshole.
Yeah, I think you should always have a thing in the back of your head that says like, "Yo, hey, we just laughed about a joke and we share some things, but he's my boss, I'm the
Yeah.
employee, or vice versa, and there has to be a line for sure."
Do you, for your job, do you do social media with anybody at your job? Do you
No.
share Instagram, Facebook, anything like that? No,
No.
neither do I.
No.
In fact, I go as far as to block them.
Yeah, I haven't gone as far as block them. No one's requested for the people that I work with. No one's requested that. I haven't requested to get to know them or anything on social media. Not that I like to keep that separate. That's all.
Yeah, me too.
So
For every school I taught at, I was not friends with anybody while I was there.
yeah,
As soon as I left the school, I would probably immediately friend some of them, and definitely on LinkedIn, because that's kind of a different.
right. Yeah,
That's a different space.
You're right. So People, don't be friends with your boss. Be
Yeah.
acquaintances.
Yeah, and keep
Yeah.
good boundaries. Keep it healthy.
Yeah, keep it
I mean,
healthy.
be friendly, you know, and
Yeah.
and maybe do a couple social events,
Uh,
but like best friend level,
uh,
I would just recommend against it. If you make it work, good for you. Best of luck.
what's the move, Greg? For Christmas, do you get him a gift? What's the move?
Yeah, no,
Yeah, I don't think so
not,
either. Uh,
they're not your teacher. I mean,
Mm.
well, actually, maybe they are your teacher, but they're no,
yeah, I don't agree. I don't think so either.
Nothing-
Nothing against you. I just
nothing
No.
outside the coffee mug with "World's Okayest Boss" on it or something like that.
I keep thinking of Michael Scott. You know, you don't want
Yeah.
that guy. You don't want that guy.
Yeah, no.
So, all right. So, no to being best friends with your boss, people. Don't do it. And while we're at it, don't date them either. That's just
Oh,
bad way. Oh, that's just a bad way to go. All right, we'll end our episode with a random fact of the day. Drum roll, please.
I don't do drum rolls well.
No kidding. All right, here we go. Porn sites are actually statistically the sites with the least chance of infecting you with malware. Wow. Religious websites, on the other hand, are some of the most common sites that will infect your computer with malware. I'm shocked. Actually, if you think about it,
That's
I'm
what I'm doing. Because I would think a porn site knows that they want repeat business, and
Bingo.
so
well, wouldn't a religious site?
well they would, but they probably don't think about it like that.
Oh yeah, they're probably like, no one's gonna mess with us. We're the Lord. We're doing the Lord's work.
Or even just so a porn site's making money.
Right.
Usually, I mean that's the point. So they can afford better security. Where most
It's a
like
$1 billion business
Yeah.
that nobody claims to be a part of.
So here's a funny story. Yeah, I'll tell it. So when I first got on Audible for audiobooks,
Okay.
they gave me a book called The Butterfly Effect, which I thought
Was
was
science
based
fiction movie.
either in science fiction or the actual theory of the butterfly effect, because I didn't read the description. So I downloaded it. I started listening to it, and about 10 minutes in, I realized that the butterfly effect that this author is talking about is the effect that the internet had on the porn industry and the effect that the porn industry has had on society. So it's an anthropology book,
Really?
which is also a thing I was fascinated about. Now there's no like erotic piece to this. It is
Right, yeah.
scientific data gathering, sociology. It's a book about people. So I listened to it and I was fascinated. And he talked about how much data, so like how businesses collect data now
Yeah.
is based on how
The porn industry did it.
Specifically Pornhub, which is
Yeah.
the biggest
Wow.
porn site in the world right now, and how that business kind of was first made and then exploded onto the scene. Pardon the pun. But then how they were talking with some of their analysts or former analysts,
Yeah.
like before then, there was no like categories for porn, to the point where people saw how that industry took internet data and utilized it, to the point where, major car companies are doing it the same way. Clothing companies are doing it the same way.
Yeah, it was a model they took.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and talking with the engineer, and the guy's like, did it bother you that you were dealing with porn? And this guy's an MIT grad in computer engineering. And he said, he's like, I wasn't on set. I wasn't, I was on a completely different floor in a completely different office than any of what anybody would consider to be the dirty stuff. I dealt in numbers and data.
Yeah.
And I was just like, it was one of the longer commutes I had because I was driving to a couple states away.
Yeah,
And I
it's
was just like,
that actually sounds like an what I can imagine is something ever get, you get into a book or you get into some sort of, as you're learning something, you find it fascinating, you tend to want to share that. Did you ever have awkward conversations with Krista like, so this new book I'm reading?
Well, no, I didn't, because she's my wife of almost 20 years. I mean, awkward conversations are more.
She knows where
Like,
you're.
hey, I took a really weird poop the other day. Did you want to see? I mean, that's the kind of awkward you have after years of marriage. No, this was, hey, you know that book that I thought was about particle physics? It's not.
Sit down. Let me tell you about it.
Well, and she was a business major, so she was like, huh. She was mostly not interested until I got to the data part.
Yeah.
But and the book does go into like how that industry has changed, and like he tells the story of one woman who is like an at-home porn star.
Yeah.
She sets up a webcam and people subscribe to her channel.
All right.
And how her 13-year-old daughter came home from school one day after some boys in her class.
Oh no.
And now, I mean, that's some deep-seated, oh my God, how do you deal with that?
Well, you know what? I've heard something that's actually horrible. Is I think it's like 80 to 85% of the women that are involved in that industry have been molested at some point.
Oh, it's a terrible. The guy actually did a follow-up book, which I didn't listen to, but I read the description of. One adult star, she committed suicide, is what the police are saying. But there are a lot of people like her at the time, her boyfriend, that were like, it was just something hinky going on that they started to do more investigation and everything. But he does dive in then to kind of those more statistics and how it takes young girls and just uses them up and spits them out, and and what do you do after that? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. All right, Greg, we gotta let people get back to work. We're at 17 minutes here. Yep. So, okay.
What were we talking about?
All right, folks. Thanks for hanging in there. We will see you next time. Greg, take care, sir. Topic Thunder out.